Okay, I have put it on record. So now, see, I'll first, you know, first introduce you all our topics that we are going to teach you in this curriculum, whatever we have in the advanced Excel course. See, our agenda is whether you are a professional who are working daily on Excel or you don't know anything, you are a novice in Excel, let's say. So this particular course will be helpful to all of them. So we are going to start from the basic, from the scratch. That is all the terminologies that we use in Excel. So what is the screen layout? So we'll be sharing all these materials with you once the class is done. For each session, whatever topics are related, so the topics will be sent to you over the mail. So you are going to first be introduced with the Excel application. Please mute yourselves, all of you. Okay. So next we'll also be learning different types of shortcut keys that we use to deal with the day in and day out Excel topics. So Excel functionalities that you work on, it could be like custom list, preparing a custom list, using auto list that is already available in Excel. So different types of pay special methods that we have in Excel. So these things will be covered in the first two chapters. So next chapter is again dealing with how to apply formats to your cells, rows, and columns. So quickly applying borders, so number formatting, so changing it to currency symbol or applying percentage. So these things, helping you with these things in the first three chapters. It's a very basic thing. Next, the references chapter is going to be crucial. So here you're going to learn all the cell referencing types. So I guess you all might have seen some dollar symbols in the formulas that they use in Excel. So it's all about that chapter in the references. And formulas is an extensive, exhaustive list of formulas you'll be learning here. And let me make it clear to all of you. See, these formulas that we are going to teach you is going to be common to all the uh, domains. See, it's not specific to either finance or let's say some scientific formulas. So it's not like that. The formulas that we have chosen over here to teach you is going to be useful to everyone altogether. It is kind of inclusive. So the list of formulas that we have chosen is like that. Later, after you learn the formulas, you will be taught on how to deal with the errors that you get in the formulas. The different types of errors, how to deal with it or how to avoid. So when you know why you're getting those errors, you will know how to avoid getting those errors. Or if you get them by any way, how to solve it. We'll be learning all that in the different types of errors. Next, we have a formula auditing and formula view chapter. See, this deals with already worked file. You already have a file which has got a lot of formulas and other things in it. So before applying some change to it, you would like to know which cell is going to get affected, what happens. So when you change something in that file, so you even before you make any changes to it. So these things will be taught to you in the seventh chapter. So later we have sorting and filtering techniques. I know most of you already use this. So there are the professional ways of applying it. I'll be teaching you all those things here in sorting and filtering techniques. So we have advanced filters also covered in it. Next is conditional formatting. See, again, in conditional formatting, you have the basic conditional formatting rules that are already available in Excel, and also applying it in your own custom way by providing formulas. How do you want to apply conditional formatting? And next, we have data validation, number formatting, data tools. See, all these things, the number formatting is how to change the format of your numbers. Maybe, let's say, as I said, to changing it to a currency symbol or percentage. So, these things will be taught to you over here. and what's the importance of it, and how to apply it quickly and easily. So those things will be taught to you here. And the next part is data tools. See, this chapter covers some additional features or newly added features that are available to you in the Excel, so especially the new version of Excel. So we'll be teaching you on uh, Office 365 actually. So for that, we are going to use this particular chapter. Next, as I said, data validation is also covered, both the basic rules that we already have in Excel and also the ones that we use through formulas to provide your own custom data validation. How to do that. Next, this chapter is a very small one, how to use images within your comments, how to insert comments. Let me share that. See, let me share the screen to you. So if you can see here, how to insert such images in your comments. So
Excuse me, we are not able to see this. Yeah, no, we are able to see.
is it?
Yeah.
Now you're able to see?
Again, some black square box. Now it is okay.
Okay. So now you can see here. So we are able to insert images as well within the comments. How to do those things, that will be taught to you in this chapter. It's a very simple and a creative one. Let me share another screen now. Yes. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So next, in detail, how are you going to insert charts and graphs that are available in Excel? So we'll start from covering basic charts like let me share it to you. See, we start from very basic charts like this to advanced charts that we have like this one. How to create these kind of charts. This is one of an advanced chart. So we'll also be showing charts like this one. So let me show you this. See how to create charts like this. So this is also covered in your curriculum. So everything will be taught to you step by step. And we also have a chapter known as pivot table. I know most of you would be using this. So there are a lot of things to learn in pivot tables. So using slicer, timeline, and also creating data model using pivot table. We'll be learning all those things here. And next is printing techniques. So this is you know I know most of you won't be printing, but again there are people who require their reports to be printed. They can be using this printing techniques. So how to insert a header, footer, giving page numbers, setting your margins. So what kind of page size you have to choose. All these things will be taught to you in printing techniques. So even if you haven't heard some of the topics in the curriculum that I explained to you, so don't panic. Everything will be taught to you from scratch. It will be made simple to you, and even after training, okay, you will be getting these videos, and along with that you will also be shared the material. Okay, even after that, if you have any doubt, you can definitely mail us. We are there to help you out with this. Okay, is it clear, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start with the basic chapter. I'll first open Excel. See, you go to the search bar, type Excel, you get this Excel application visible here. Click on it, you will be able to see the welcome screen. See, this is common to all of your MS Office applications. So your MS Office applications include, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Access, and there are so many other things like OneNote, Outlook, these things. So especially for Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and Access. You get this welcome screen. So this one will ask you to create a new workbook. We call Excel files as workbooks here. Okay. You have to mention it as a workbook. Just like you call Word files as documents, Excel files are known as workbooks. Okay. So here this window appears in 2016 version and above. Currently, what you're looking at is an Office 365 version. Okay. This is a subscription version, guys. You need to understand the difference here. There are two types. One is for all, it is installed on your desktop and it can be used offline. So this Office 365 will let you, store your data in the cloud as well. It allows you to save your data in cloud. It has got access to OneDrive and lot of other features. The advantage of using this Office 365 is any update to the software, the first thing that will appear here is in Office 365 because it's an online version. It's a subscription version. It easily gets updated, whereas the one that you have purchased, suppose let's say you have 2016 or 19 version installed on your system, you have to update it manually, and for any new updates you have to keep checking and you have to update it, but that's not the case with Office 365. So this is the difference between subscription version and the one that is purchased and installed in your system. Okay. So after this, so let me check. Someone is messaging.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Jatinder here. What is our Office 365?
Office 365 is an Office subscription suite that Microsoft is providing, which will enable you to access it from anywhere. Okay, so you don't have to save your files on your desktop and worry about it. You can access your files once you save it in OneDrive. It lets you co-author. So there are so many options available to us in Office 365, which is not there in the desktop version. Is it clear now, Jatinder?
Ma'am, we need to save it in a separate desktop. Sorry, separate desk.
So not exactly. See, I'll tell you the difference here. See, there are options for you to save it on your desktop as well as on the cloud. That is OneDrive. I suppose you have heard of OneDrive. Just like Google Drive,
Okay.
Microsoft also has a cloud storage known as OneDrive. You
Hmm.
can save your files in OneDrive here directly.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
once you save it there, you can access it from any device. So not necessarily that you have to go back to your laptop or your system and only then access it. You can access your file from anywhere.
Okay.
You just have to log into your Microsoft account to access your files.
Ma'am, excuse me. My boss is calling.
Yeah, sure, sure. You just mute yourself, Jatinder. Any other doubts regarding the subscription version and desktop version?
No.
So, madam, basically, we are using 2010 model in our office.
Okay.
So, is there any much difference between this Office 365 and
Interface wise, you don't have much difference, but feature wise, yes, there are a lot of options that have been included after 2016 version. But
okay.
it is okay if you are using 2010 also, you can follow this. Most of the things still work in 2010. So only few options which I show you here. I will anyways make sure you get to know which option is present in your version or not. Okay. I'll tell
Okay.
you well while explaining each option what is there in your version which is not there. So
Now, to access this Office 365,
yes.
uh, do we need to create a separate account or already one? I think we have one for our from company side, user ID and password, where we log into Office 365 to
Hmm.
access our Outlook mail.
Okay, okay.
So in that only I can use this or?
You can definitely see there is an option to access this online. But what happens is, may I know your name?
Anything.
Nitin. So
Hmm.
Nitin, so there is an online version, just like you use your apps, right? WhatsApp
Uh,
and other things. So
okay.
in the same way, if you are using Windows 10, you have an Office app installed. So
Uh,
you just have to go here, type Office. So if you open this app,
uh,
you will have to sign into this.
yeah.
Okay. So once you sign in, you can access. Let me sign in.
ये यहाँ कनेक्शन नहीं आ रहा क्या बराबर?
Please mute
बाबा आ
yourself.
रहा है इंटरनेट
Please
कनेक्शन
mute yourself.
अनस्टेबल.
Madam, what we usually do is we go to the Internet Explorer, type there Office 365,
Okay.
and then we will get a user ID and password pop up. We enter into the Office 365 actually.
The problem is, Nitin, you don't get to use all options there. You have an Office app. Okay. You can use Excel, Word, and PowerPoint free of cost, just like
Uh,
any other app. But only
okay.
thing is, you don't get the full-fledged, options that you get to use in the licensed version. See, now I have bought a license.
Uh,
I'm using Office 365 on my system. Okay.
okay.
So this
Uh,
lets me use all options over here. You
Now the
understand?
question why I was asking is,
Hmm.
right now we are using the laptop which is provided by the company,
Okay.
which do not have Office 365. So
That's
suppose
fine.
if we want to practice anything like on Excel,
Hmm.
so we can log in through that mode. I thought that is through a Office 365 online mode.
Online mode, that's what I'm telling you, Nitin. It doesn't, there are most of the options that you can use there, but
Uh-huh.
still there are few options which are not there, like
Okay.
data modeling in Pivot Table. So those things you don't get it on the online version. But it is
Okay.
fine if you are having 2010, no problem, guys. You can still use it.
Okay.
Okay, you can
Yeah.
still use it. There is no problem in it.
Yeah.
You will be able to follow. I will just let you know which option is there for you and which is not there, so that
Uh,
you can explore it in the online version if it is provided.
okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Any other doubts regarding the versions, guys? Yes, no.
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 Okay. So let me get back to this welcome screen again. So you get to see some templates that are ready made. So you can see here, if I go to more templates, you can see some ready made templates available to us. Either you can use these templates to create your file. If you don't get to see some templates, you can just search it online and still get it. Most of the time what we do is we go for a blank workbook. See, this blank workbook lets you build anything from scratch. Templates, whereas they help you to start off from, you don't have to create it from the scratch. So you will have some placeholders given there. You can utilize these templates. It will save your time. Okay. So wherever necessary, you can go for templates as well. So I'll just take this blank workbook in this example. See, currently you're seeing the screen layout of Office 365. Okay, it is
Okay.
similar to your 2016 version also. No much changes from 2010 version as well. Even in 2010, you have this file tab and your screen looks very much similar to this. So
Yes.
you might not find these ideas and these things, but that's completely okay, guys. So you can use most of the options that I'll be teaching you. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the screen layout. So I'll begin from here. What technical words you have to use while using them, or let's say you want to search something in Google. You need to have that specific words. Only then you will get the results properly. So you need to know which words to use. So to help you with those things, I'm starting from the screen layout. So currently you see book 1 here. So this is known as your title bar. Okay, that's where exactly your name of the book appears. Now we haven't saved this workbook, so it displays as book 1. That's the default name the book takes. As soon as you create a new blank workbook, this is the name it takes. Now if I save it, I'll go save this. Okay, again it gives you a lot of options where you have to save. All those things will be appearing over here. I'll come back to this backstage view later. Now let me save this in documents. I'll say demo. So over here, change this to Excel session 1. So this is the name I give. See, as soon as I named it, you get to see the name of the book over here, and it says it is saved already. And the next thing that you see here, the gray strip that you are watching now, so this part is known as the ribbon. See, ribbon version, see, from 2007 version, you are able to see this ribbon part. Prior to that, if someone is there who's using Excel since very old days, so they will know in 2003, there were huge drop downs to choose from. So from there, you had to access the commands. So now you don't have to worry about it because all commands are spread across this ribbon as small icons. Okay, so this ribbon is again, you can see it is split into different tabs like this. These are known as tabs. Home, insert, page layout. These are all tabs. And each of this tab has got a group of commands. So you can see there is a group named clipboard and you have all these. They are known as commands. And you can see each group has got some set of commands which perform specific action. So you can see here in the font group, all these commands are used to change your text, either make it bold or change the type of font, its size, give some borders to your cell, apply color to it, change the font color. All those things are available to us in font group. In similar manner, the groups that they have been given here, they contain commands grouped together which perform a specific task. And some groups you can also see have a small arrow beside this. When you click on them, it will show you more options that are available to us. You can use this also. So if you don't find something that you want in this place, you can always go for the extra options that it provides. It doesn't, I mean, this option is not there for all groups, only few groups have it. So you can see here, this doesn't have. So wherever necessary, you can go click it. You will be able to see those extra options as well. So this is your ribbon part. Next, coming down, you have this formula bar. So where you see this FX, this is your formula bar. And this is known as name box or address bar. See, most of the time, the proper word they use it for this place is name box. Some people they also use it as address bar, just to make it clear to you. Now I place my cursor, I select any cell. You can see here it lets me know in which cell I am in. Okay, I am currently in I4. Now suppose I want to go to A34. I'll click on it, press enter. See, it will take you to A34. It works both the ways. And not only this, we use this name box for various reasons. We can name a certain range of cells. Okay. So for these purpose also we use the name box. Next comes this formula bar. So how is this helpful? Let me type something here. Excel session. And suppose let's say I have some numbers here. I use a simple sum function. So you can see if I want to edit this text, There are three ways. Either select this, start typing it, it will get edited, or double click on it, that also lets you edit, or you can go to the formula bar and edit the cell. So these are the three ways in which you can edit the cell content. But what is the importance of this formula bar? You click on a cell where you gave the formula, select it, see, it lets you see which formula you gave there. Here in the cell, you are going to see the result, and in the formula, you are able to see the formula that you have provided. You can edit the formula from here, or you can also make sure whether it is correct or not. So these things, the formula bar will display you the content of the cell. Exactly. And now suppose I give this as a dollar. See there, I have given dollar and two decimal places. Everything is there. But in the formula bar, you see only the value given. So that is the importance here. You whatever number format that you have provided doesn't matter. What is the exact value of that cell that will be displayed in the formula bar. Okay. So next thing, we saw this address D7, I4, A34 and all these things. But how was it formed? How did we get that D7 there? It's because the cell formation is like this. You select a column, see, you select a row, see where these two exactly intersects, that forms a cell. So a cell is an intersection of a row and a column. That's how you get this address of C8, B4, E5, E4, and all these things. Okay, that's how the cells are related to us. So next, if these are known as cells, if I select some cells like this is known as range of cells here. Okay, and next you see some sheets here. Sheet 1, I add few more sheets. All these are known as sheet tabs. They are all called as sheet tabs. So now let's say I have many sheet tabs like this, and I want to navigate. So I want to select sheets that are hidden. I am not exactly hidden, they are not visible to us. It's because there are too many sheets here. Then I use this is known as select scroll button. So to scroll between the sheets that you already have. Now you also have an option to right click over here, and you will see all the sheets that are visible to us. So you should understand here, sheets that you have hidden will not appear in the list. Only that are visible to us will appear here. You have to go and choose the sheet that you want to use and say okay. It will take you to that particular sheet. Okay. So next, this is known as horizontal scroll bar. This is your vertical scroll bar. You also have a small inverted triangle here. You just select that. It lets you select the entire sheet at once. It's known as select all button. And see, you also have view shortcuts present here. So view shortcuts, what does that mean? See, every sheet has got a view, and currently by default you see normal view. This is how you see the Excel sheet. Now let's say I want to see page layout view. Most of you would not have used it, but this is used to see how exactly your data looks when you print it on a sheet. Okay, this is known as page layout view. You also have options to set margin, okay, give header, footer, all those things in this particular view. Let me go back to normal view. I'll give some data here which is running into many sheets. Let's say suppose I gave some data like this. Now let me see this in the page layout view. So now you will be able to see how exactly it looks when you print this particular sheet, how your data is placed here. Okay, so this is page layout view. So, and what about page break preview? This you might have used. Many of them might have used this. So you can see here. This they use it before printing. This page break preview is used to see where exactly the columns split, where exactly or how many columns are accommodated in that particular sheet, and the page order. See, currently the page order like this: 1, 2, 3. Now let's say I'll add few more lines to this. I'll add few more data like this. And let me go back here to page break preview. So now you can see the page order. See, it's like this. Page order has changed. Page 1, the next is page 2, the next is page 3. So you can see here. So this page break preview lets you see the page order as well. And also, say suppose I want to accommodate only few columns from this. So only this much of data is left. Let's assume only this much of data is left. I don't want another sheet to be used to print it. So what I'll do, I'll accommodate these two columns in the same sheet. It will just shrink your data a little. Okay, the quality of the view will be a little compromised. Anyways, I'll be teaching you how these things have to be managed in the printing techniques. Okay, so any doubts still here? Someone is messaging. Let me check that. Okay, any doubts still here, guys?
Hmm. Yeah, no.
It's okay. It's clear.
Okay, that's good. So you also have some zoom feature available to us. It lets you zoom your sheet. So this zoom feature is helpful when you have to look at all sheets at once. Let's say I'll zoom down. See, it lets me all look at all sheets that I have at once. And also, if you have some shapes or objects or charts that you have aligned here, you want to align it to accurate distance or something like that. You want to overlap some shapes. You want to see whether it is perfectly aligned. So then the zoom feature will really help us. Okay. The next part is, now suppose I'll clear all this data from this sheet and I'll give some numbers. I'll use I'll give some numbers like this. See, as soon as you select this, you get to see some values over here: count, min, max, sum, and few more. If you want, even more can be added to this. So this place is known as status bar. So as soon as you select any cell, you just see ready in the left hand side far corner. Okay, so here it only means the cell is ready to perform any editing on it. You can edit that cell. Along with this, you have lot of other options that you can see in this status bar. Just right click on it, you get a huge list here. What do you want to see in the status bar? All those things are provided here. Now let's say I also want to see the average of the numbers that I select. I'll choose this. So the next time I'll go and select the numbers, it will give me the average also. Average, count, min, max. But this is only until your data is kept selected. As soon as you remove selection, it will vanish. Okay. So these are the things that you have to understand. It is only making you familiar with the Excel interface. So what all options are there, where you have to look for it. So to get the hang of it, even before we start using it, I just explained you the screen layout. Okay. We also have this quick access toolbar. See, as the name suggests, quick access. That means you can quickly access it irrespective of which tab you are using. Suppose I use some command very frequently. Let's say I'll just go and take text to columns. This particular command, I use it regularly. Let's say just right click on that command and say add to quick access toolbar. It will appear here in the quick access tool. Now you don't have to go to data tab and select this. Now let's say you are using home tab, still you get this option here and you can quickly use it. So that's the advantage of this quick access toolbar. And it also lets you add an entire group to that. Let me show you. Just right click, add to quick access toolbar. So you have to right click on the group, say add to quick access toolbar. So now when you click on it, you get to see the entire group here. And let's say you don't wish to see these commands anymore, you don't use it, right click and say remove, they'll be removed. So these are few options that are available to us in the screen layout. Now let me explain you the backstage view. So this file tab is meant for that. They have included a new tab in the advanced versions. So right after 2007, that since 2010 version, you have got this file tab. When you click on it, you get to see a window like this. This is known as the backstage view, where it has got all information about your file. So what is the size of your file, who created it, when it was last modified, last printed if it was printed, who is the author name. You can add author names as well. By default, it will take your system name. Whatever is your login name to the system, that will be taken here. And you can also see where exactly it is saved when you click on it. It will take you to the path. So exactly in which folder you have saved this file. If you have to look at it, you can click on open file location. And you also have so many other options here. See, we already used this. So home will take you to this welcome screen. Okay, new will let you use this templates and create a blank workbook. You can use this option. If you go for open, see, as soon as you click this, you will be able to see all those files you were working on. So previously, if you have worked on some Excel files, all those will be available to you over here. And let's say you want to use a particular file regularly. See, this is known as recent files. How does this work? See, every time you open a new workbook, you work on a new workbook, or some other files which are available in your system, this list gets updated. The most recently used file will appear in the list. So you can see here today. I'm using this currently. So this is on the top. Now, if I open another file, that will appear on top of this. It's just like a queue. The most oldest one will move out of this list, and the most recent one will come on top of this. And let's say you use some file regularly and you want to have it every time, like you want to use it every day. You can pin them like this. See, let's say I use this every day. I can use this pin button. Click on it. It will always appear in the pinned section. So no matter how many files you open, these two files will be there to use regularly for me. Why this is helpful is, see, suppose I have this in so many different folders. I have kept it inside so many folders. To access this file, I don't have to go and open so many folders again. It will be available to me directly. Just open the Excel application, go to open, I'll find this here. I can access this file immediately. It saves my time. And the same thing for folders as well. If this is for workbooks, you can also use it for folders. You click on it, you will be able to see all the recent folders that you were using. And you can pin the folders as well. So if you use some folder regularly, you can keep it pinned so that you will get to access it. So those are the things. You can also access your OneDrive, that is the cloud storage. If you have MS Office 365, you also have these things. You can also browse. So if you are looking for some file which is not available over here, you can always browse and get the file opened. Okay. Next thing is info. See, info is a tab where you see all these options here. So now if you go here, it also lets you display the protection that you have applied on your workbook. So let me select this. See, if you have protected some sheet or your workbook, it will display in this particular section. Now let me say protect current sheet. The sheet that I have kept open in my Excel file that I want to protect. I'll select protect current sheet. So now it is asking me for a password. I am trying to protect sheet 3 here. It's your wish, either you provide password or you don't provide it. It's left to you. But if you provide a password, make sure you remember it, because once you forget, you will not have any access to it, and there is no forgot password option here. Okay, I'll just say okay here. So let me go back to file tab. See, you can see sheet 3 as protected sheet, and you can unprotect it from here as well. So I'll just click on it. Since we did not give any password, it got unprotected automatically. So next, you also have always open read only. Always open as read only. So what this happens is, you might have experienced this whenever you download some files. So it might be sent through mail, or you might have downloaded these files from a website, let's say. So what happens, as soon as you open, it doesn't let you edit anything. It it gives you an option to enable editing. Only when you click on that, it allows you to edit. That's why they have given that. Is suppose there was some important information by mistake, when you open, you don't want it, won't change automatically. It will ask you to enable editing, and only then you can edit it. The next thing is encrypt with password. This is a very strong protection. You might have seen this for your bank account statements and phone bill, credit card bill statements. What happens, even before you can open them, it will ask you to provide password. So this option is something similar. If you want your workbook to have a password to be given even before it opens, then you can use this option. Protect current sheet, we saw it. Protect workbook structure. This is one of the special type of protection where it allows the user to edit the data in the file, but not the structure of the file. So when I say structure,
Excuse me.
yes,
How much time it will take now more? I have another meeting at 7.
it ends at 7. The session was planned till 7.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So next is protect workbook structure. So I was telling you, if you can allow the user to edit the data, but not the structure. See, let me give this. Let's say I'll not give any password. You see, it allows me to edit the data here. It doesn't restrict me from that. But I can't rename the sheet. See, and I cannot add any new sheet. Either I cannot delete as well. See, right click, you have all the options disabled to any changes to the structure. So it will disable all those options. I can't insert any new sheet, delete, rename, copy. So nothing is possible here. So it will disable all these things. That is protecting your workbook structure. So you can go back. You can see protect workbook. The structure of the workbook has been locked. You get to see that message here. So these things are possible, and restrict access. See, this you will only get to see when you have shared your workbook along with someone on the network. So like co-authoring and something like that. You can restrict the person to make or touch few sheets, adding a digital signature. Marking as final is just to make sure nobody will be able to make any changes to your data. So once you mark a file as final, so you can only read the data, you can see it, no changes are applicable to it. So that's the option of it. And you also have inspect workbook. See, you can inspect your workbook for so many hidden properties of your file. Let's say you want to check how many whether any protected sheets are there, hidden sheets are there, hidden rows and columns are there, or pivot tables are being used. So you can see all those options over here. And manage workbook is to have this auto recovery files, so you can go access them. See, currently I'm using this file, I haven't saved for a long time, I'm just training you and I haven't saved this file for a long time, but it auto saves every 10 minutes for me. So that's how you get the versions of files on the left hand side. So like by mistake or for some reason your system started hanging and it is not responding properly and you abruptly close this, you want to get the auto saved version of it. So as soon as you open, you get those things. You also can access them from here. Browser options, so you only have to worry about this when you are going to publish this particular workbook on the browser. Otherwise you don't have to worry about this part. So these are the things. And you know how to save the file. Save as lets you save it in different place or in a different type. So for those things you can use save as. Print option, again it will give you all the options to print this particular document, this particular workbook. So all the changes that you have to apply there will appear here. Sharing, see, if you want to share this file over the email, or let's say you want to share it among another person. If you have this file on OneDrive, you want to share it to someone else, so that is also possible from here. But
That is, I think,
yes,
available in save option also, because save and send email, something like that.
is it? I don't think so. Save as,
Save and send as attachment, something like that.
maybe not here. I'm not
Okay.
sure about this, but
So,
yes, but share option is there in Office 365, which will either let you, email your workbook immediately or share it to someone else on the cloud storage. So both those options are available in share. Next, export. It lets you export in PDF. See, you want to save your file as PDF. So this option is there in save as well. This option is there, not the share. So you want to change the file type, you have some predefined file types that you can choose from, and it will immediately save in that particular format. And you also have options to publish. Publish this.
Super Mickey Joker.
Okay. So this lets you publish, but you need to have some softwares which are used for publishing sake. So in my system, you can see Power BI is installed, so I will be able to export this, upload this onto Power BI. So it is one of the publishing spaces that you get. So when you click on close, it lets you close this file altogether. And you have this account information where you can check your Office subscription account. And feedback is for you to provide feedback to MS Microsoft Office. And next, options is another window that opens which lets you customize how Excel behaves. So how exactly you are looking at this screen, how many sheets have to be added immediately after opening a new file, what should be the font that has to be used. So all these can be applied on your Excel application. So these things we'll be learning in the further chapters. Okay. So I hope all of you understood till here the backstage view, screen layout, and all these options.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So just give me a second.